Hey there, gamers. Welcome back to Cryptic Gaming. I hope you guys been having a wonderful week. So I want to take a moment to give you some advice on the Jailbird mission. Sounds like there's some people having some issues, and I'm going to bring you a build video here for your Sloop of War as well. So whenever you pick up that mission, Jailbird, they're going to send you out. It's a multi-stage mission. Eventually, though, you end up picking up a Sloop of War, and they want you to go to a location to actually plunder. Now, you have to fight your way all the way there, it seems like. You end up having to fight, then you got to make your way over to the location. A lot of people are getting hung up with Roadman Godin. Try to ignore him, move on. Don't bother with him unless they are going to make you fight him. I don't remember having to fight Roadman Godin, honestly. My biggest problem was when I completed the mission, was able to move toward getting the plunder going. What I ended up running into is I was almost out of health, as most of y'all are. What you want to do is just remember this, and I don't remember exactly which outpost I picked up. Any outpost you go to, even including the one that they send you to plunder, and that's the one I bought my health kits from. You cannot bring the stuff with you into the mission from your other boat, but you can immediately go to any location, interact, and buy health kits and water flasks and anything else you want to get, and you can put that stuff on that ship. And that's what I ended up doing, and that's what I usually do with those types of missions. Same thing with, food and stuff like that. You could grab some food if you don't see any in the location to sell. You could just pick it up laying around the trees and stuff like that as well. So that's how you need to get through Jailbird. I know it's one of those things where it kind of can be frustrating, but it really goes pretty easy. So there also was another little issue. It sounded like some folks were having some problems with getting the last stage of their seasonal hub completed. And whenever you're getting toward the end here, what you got to remember is it's La Peste level 20 up here, and this here is Vikram level 20. You can't just run the lower level La Peste into Vikram and think that that's going to get you those tiers, guys, unfortunately. So make sure you do that. Also, if you're having problems progressing anything in your faction wars, understand you have to be in world tier 2. Also, if you're not seeing it, you're not being given an option to trade anything, you have to get on those main mission line, guys, and complete the main storyline so you can get into a faction. So that's how that's going to work out. But now, when it comes to builds, there's always a lot of different types of builds, and you'll see a lot of renditions as we go. And this one here, I think, is almost complete. We're going to make sure we put a video of fighting some bosses. We'll probably jump on Lynn up here, or Lee, whatever her name is. Jump on her, maybe do a couple other bosses, maybe in Missouri or something like that. So, yeah, so here's what we have here, guys. We've currently running, and I may leave this on. I haven't decided. I may go with a different rot mouth. So something else that's pretty cool, if you look at those emblems up there, you can tell that every single one of those are god rolls now because of the way that they light up kind of like a fire. Whereas if you look at the other ones down below, they're gold and they're not lit up like that because those aren't god rolls. So you can tell off your weapons pretty quick. So right now I've got Thunder Dragons on the front of this. I like it because it does a good job of busting the cells. Okay. It's got a Tearing 3, it's got Electric 2 perk on there. Once you rip those sails, guys, you're drawing 10,000 damage in from lightning every time you strike it, and it has a damage cell activated on there. So you also have Electric 2. I went ahead and put this Noxious perk on here. 10.9%. That's toxic damage. That's giving this thing some nice toxic, and it does stick around and linger a while. Amplified toxic 32.7, and then I went ahead and I've got the increased weak point damage 36%. While not all cells count as weak points, some do, the little top red ones and some of those sharpshooters. You can hit weak points with this thing and do massive damage as well. So it's always nice to have that extra perk on there just in case you need it. Now on these sides, I have the rot mouth on here. It's putting out 24 damage on this thing, which I guess isn't too bad. Virulent is 50% poison damage, reduces maximum brace strength for 10 seconds. If the target's poisoned, the poison damage increased by 75%. Toxic 3 adds 20% damage. It's toxic damage. Went ahead and added Incendiary, 11.1%. Amplified Toxic, we added 32.9, and amplified that Toxic again at a 33.3% on that one there. Now, when I was looking at this one here, I'm playing around with a couple of ideas. So I went ahead and I put a lethal perk on this one here. Everything else is the same: incendiary, amplified, toxic. But I went ahead and put a lethal perk on here to test it out against the weak points. They hit so close. It's not enough for me to change it, but I was really thinking that we'd be able to get a little more damage out of weak points, and it does a pretty good job, surprisingly, on buildings with this, especially on this side here. So I hit them a little bit harder because you have a lot of those weak points that you have on Megafort Wolvenhall, and then it causes that poison. The ship itself causes the poison to linger around a little longer. Also, some of the furnitures we're using, so it does do a pretty good job with that as far as against structure. So I don't know. I haven't really decided which way for sure I want to go with it, but I've got some options here to go still. But it gets expensive rolling. It really does once you lock it in. So then, of course, Fire Bombard. I've got this hitting at 6,210 explosive, 2 burning. It's got noxious, 11% amplified electric, second storm on there. So went ahead and got all those put in. And then on the auxiliary, I play around. I got a couple different auxiliaries I'm playing around with. This in here, obviously the LeFleur. And we got the firepower, and went ahead and put a couple siege perks on there. It does good against ships, but it also does good against forts if I decide to run up and do a bunch of forts and stuff like that as well on there. So armor, here is the kind of a favorite armor I'm having right now. So I switched off the Ouroboros, and I went ahead and put a Magnet's Forge on a furniture slot, as you'll see here in a minute. That freed me up to be able to use a little bit more, a little bit more exciting armors here. So I've got the Nova armor on here right now, and I've got the Stout perk, which is increasing my whole health by 5,500. I've got Survivor perk on here. When whole health drops below 25%, it repairs 18.4% whole health over 10 seconds. The effect lasts for 30 seconds, or has a 30-second cooldown, I should say. I'm not entirely sure on it. It seems like when this thing actually triggers in, it's actually kind of worth it, because it'll trigger in when you end up bracing up, and whenever you let off the brace with this thing, it seems to me that whenever you're getting to 25% and you're working your brace, it'll actually heal 18% of your whole health. And it's like pretty quick. It hits really quick, and then your maintenance on this takes over. So I've been kind of playing around with it a little bit, but I'm really enjoying it. I think it's pretty cool. It's got that volatile vestment, which is where while you're bracing, if they hit you and it triggers that explosion. I'm going to try some things with like Stormwoven Symphony and stuff like that as well here. There's so much stuff to play around with on here. And definitely I'm working on another build, which is going to be for a PvP armor, and it's coming along pretty good. Going to do some testing and stuff here in the days ahead, and I'll get that out to you. Furniture wise, okay, a lot of different controversy on this one. I'm using the gimbal ring store, which is targets over 180 meters away increase the damage of demi cannon weapons. That's on the front. Now I've been running that, but being I've switched over to rot mouths, and I may end up switching to those at the front. I just hate to use a rot mouth at the front of this thing, but most of my main weaponry now is kind of going toward where we at here, going toward those culverins. So I'm going to end up switching this to a stink pot station. It hits targets with toxic weapons with 250 meters, 10% more damage. So we're going to go ahead and put that one on here. The reason I done that is because I switched from all demi cannons to just one demi cannon on the front, and the bulk of my cannon fire is coming off of here. I think it's like 9 shots I'm getting off of this thing, 8 or 9. But yeah, so it seems to be working pretty good. But I wanted to switch that stink pot station there out real quick. And then our rest of it, we have the trunnion furnace, 25% chance to spread a nearby target. You figure you're shooting like 9 times, so 25% chance you're going to spread some stuff. So that's why we added that incendiary perk over to those culverins on top of that poison, because it really just kind of spreads the love around with the ablaze effect and all that kind of stuff triggering off as well. It really makes for some fun battles. So But yeah, so this one here is pretty nice as far as tuning and furnace. I would throw that on her. The copper fastening station increases secondary damage of electric weapons by 12%, increases maximum range of electric weapons by 8%. I mean, it's okay. There's a furniture I'm waiting that comes in tier 2 of the war, so that's going to replace this one. But for right now, I've got that as copper fastening station. That's going to get traded out, and we'll show you with what it's going to be traded out with here at the end of the video. I went ahead and put a maintenance forge on here. It does do 1% severe damage per second while out of combat, and you know, it works out pretty good as far as, you know, you blow the ships up, you got a chance to heal up, you don't have to go back. Yes, you give up a furniture slot, but right now there's not a lot of poison furniture, so for now I'm getting more of a reward by using Nova Arma than I am of a penalty needing to remove a furniture. So, and that simply made possible because of that seasonal journey being completed as well. So we got Plaguebringer's Ward, reduces reload time of toxic weapon by 7%, increases the damage by 4%. So that's a good one to have on her. Then of course Ramrod Workshop, decreasing reload time of broadside weapons by 7%, increasing secondary damage by 7%. So there is one thing I haven't figured out if this is a 2-shooter off the front or a 4. I may put a culverin or something on the front of that thing just to figure it out and see what we got there, because that's going to kind of drive me crazy. But that's what we're running on those furnitures, guys. I am definitely liking some of these new cosmetics. Still playing around. It's a little more green than I would like, so I need to play around with some of that stuff a little bit. But you know, they have some really cool stuff. This season's just been fantastic with really cool looking, you know, you name it. I mean, this one here, this is pretty cool. I actually like the emblem. I've actually thought about maybe using the emblem, or even this in here with the harp. That's kind of cool too. So it's not stuff to see all the time. Obviously, the figurehead on the front of that ship is just fantastic. You can't beat that. I mean, that's got that emissive where you, like I said, you could go in there and you could pick up all of those artisan workshops that we've been picking up in the past. If you've been picking those up, this was one of the sunken beyond. This thing is just awesome. I love it. I love the Grim Reaper. Unfortunately, it was never emissive, and they didn't have reactive or anything we could upgrade it. So this in here is even better. So this is one of my new, you know, favorites, I believe. So I'm going to be using this for a while. But yeah, I'm digging this little Sloop of War. Enjoy the videos we've attached. To keep the video short, we'll probably just kick on a half a video or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll go ahead and hit some Lynn real quick. But y'all have a good day, and we will catch y'all later.